going on, guys? Welcome back to the #1 creative podcast. I don't know what I did to justify that name, but every single movie can use the #1 movie in America or in the world. So I think I've coined the #1 creative podcast. We're super excited. We took a little hiatus, a little break, but we're back. And we have one of the most creative people that I've met in Houston. He's pretty much taken over. He's done some really cool stuff with some really big, brands such as like Anabar, Jazzy Fit. He's done Dark Sport, and I'm really excited to, pick his brain and just have some really cool conversations, man. Art, thank you for inviting us in your studio and your space. I'm excited to kind of pick your brain.
I appreciate it. That was a great intro, and I'm excited to have you guys here.
You're buff as shit, dude. Why do you need to be so buff as a videographer? Like, I looked at this man the first time and I was like, damn, this motherfucker's huge. Like, and I noticed that with a lot of videographers. I think it's just like with the fitness industry and like the filming industry kind of being so close together and like so closely tied that I don't know, they're just jacked. So has fitness always been a big part of your life?
Yeah, I guess that's how I transitioned to doing videos and photos. I started with a long time ago. I had a YouTube channel.
Nice. And
it was about fitness. So, all my videos before were about working out, exercising, all that kind of stuff. So I guess that just carried over to like what I'm doing now. So I guess the muscles just came with it.
Yeah. Dude, that's interesting. We have a pretty similar like story, similar path, and I feel like a lot of people kind of get into that fitness aspect first of watching the YouTube channels, watching the fitness industries. Like I was watching Christian Guzman and Max Tuning like back in the day, and then it was always weird because I always had a camera in my hand. Like if it was only for me or if it was filming other stuff, but mostly it just started with my social media. Like I wanted the fitness stuff, I wanted to do that. And then it just kind of evolved, we had the camera and it was like, hey, maybe let's try to make some money or like try to make a fitness video or one or two. Did you ever were you ever a trainer or anything like that or?
Not a trainer. I tried to do some online coaching back in the day.
How'd that go?
Didn't go very well, obviously, because I'm not doing that anymore. But yeah, I just tried it. I try to coach my friends and stuff because I've been training for 10 years. I have 10 years under my belt.
Hell yeah, dude.
I hire a few coaches, so just using that and trying to, hustle and try to make a business and try to help people as well at the same time. So.
That's sick, man. Do you consider yourself, like, I know you have to get 10,000 hours. Do you think you spent 10,000 hours at the gym?
Probably, but now, maybe a little more.
Do you have plans on, like, competing, or are you just jacked just to be jacked?
I've competed 5 times already.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay, I did not know.
Yeah, I've done, I would believe, 3 NPC shows and 2 summer shreddings.
Nice,
so,
dude.
Right now, the competing is not too much in my mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't help me at all anymore for what I'm doing right now. So it does take a lot of time out of your day to like be on prep and do the video and create content and stuff. So I give you props for that because I know you're on prep. So right now, I don't have anything for this year, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it's never out of the,
Yeah, of course. Well, like I said, you're fucking jacked, and you can take this time to put on muscle and put on size, and with everything that you're juggling and all that stuff, like it takes a lot for sure. But no, that's super cool, man. I think it's really cool how close like the fitness space and the creative space has kind of come up, and I think that's a big thing with like the Max Tunings and the Christians. Like they've definitely elevated that kind of aspect of it. How did you get into all the like camera stuff and the creative stuff and like that?
Yeah, so I guess it came with starting my fitness YouTube. Yeah, I was doing that for a few years. It didn't go anywhere. But since I already had the camera and the gear, friends were asking, hey, can you do videos for like an engagement, or can you do? I had my first wedding like a long time ago. I was like, can you do a wedding? And my friend had a business where he was doing like restaurants.
Okay.
And I was kind of like his second camera guy.
Nice.
And I was just like using my camera and my skills that I already had, and then doing gym videos for other people. Yeah. And then that kind of just translated a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a business out of this because I'm already getting paid. Yeah. And I don't even promote it. So I was like, it's needed. Yeah. And that's
dude, that's super dope. No like traditional school for film or anything like that. Pretty much just self-taught.
Yeah. So I went to college. Okay. And I got my degree in kinesiology and psychology. Got it. And I didn't do anything with that. No. My plans in high school was to be an engineer. Okay. But I didn't make it, so I was like, what's the next thing? I was like, you know what, I like fitness, so I went into kinesiology.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna do something with that, PT or something. But as the years went by in college, I realized that I didn't like school, and I didn't want to work for somebody. I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So kind of worked out that way.
That's crazy, dude. Like how like fitness has gotten so many people into the video space. Cause again, like similar story, like I was going in, I was a trainer for a while. I wanted to do the fitness stuff. I wanted to be an athlete. And then again, like I always had that camera in hand, and it was sort of similar. Like I would shoot for whatever, like personal trainers or like athletes, like here and there. And it kind of just evolved and spiraled into like what it is today, which is kind of cool, working with like different brands and different people. But it's really cool how like closely tied all that is. What was like the determining factor of like, I don't think this fitness stuff is for me? Like what kind of made you think like, hey, let me switch and see like now's the time?
Yeah. Well, I think when I was doing it, I always felt like I wanted to do the fitness. Like fitness is part of my life, obviously, and I still love it. But me doing it to pursue it as a business, as like me being behind, like in front of the camera as a fitness, it didn't feel right. Like I didn't love that. Like I always feel wrong. Like I just didn't have a passion for it, and I was like, that was the route that I had to take. Okay. So it almost felt forced. Like when I had to take pictures of myself and make fitness videos, and I didn't have a passion for it, like I said. And the time that I switched it over to like, hey, let me shoot other people and let me create content for other fitness creators or for other things, that's when I felt like I had the passion, and I felt like, okay, this is the things that I love creating. I want to create for other people. I want to help other people create their vision that they have. And I just didn't love being in front of the camera for fitness. Like that was not my, I don't think that was my calling.
No, so. Yeah, for sure. And it takes a lot of like mental capacity and just self-awareness to really understand like, hey, I don't like this. Like I thought I did, I tried it out. Like, and I think that's the coolest part about like, just like being able to being young and being able to do whatever you want and being able to like try a bunch of different things is so important. I think people are in so much of a rush to get where they want to go, right? Like I need to be here by 25. You're on Instagram all the time, right? You're seeing all the millionaires by 27 or whatever it is. So you put this like unnecessary pressure on yourself to be at this specific place in life, where the reality is like, we're all trying to figure it out, right? Like there's no blueprint, there's no map. It's really just like, hey, let me try a bunch of shit and see what I'm actually passionate about, what I actually like to do and what I enjoy, and then go with that. I think so many people kind of get caught in the rat race of like, hey, I'm working a job that I don't really like, or I'm doing this that I don't really like because one, it pays the bills, or like whatever it is. And I think people just need to be really self-aware, and like that's one thing that I really like about what we do, and that's why I want to do like the podcast, to try to spread that message. Like you don't have to do anything in this life. You don't have to. Okay, you get the choice, the opportunity to choose what you want to do, and that's really important. And that's cool that you realize that and were able to step away and kind of do what you love, and that's super sick. When did you quit school? Did you graduate with your kinesiology?
Yeah, so I finished. I can tell you the year, 2017 maybe. Yeah, and in the town that I was living, I kind of stayed there after I was like there for like 7 years, I think. And I was working at a nutrition store, and I was creating content. That's how I kind of started doing more content. I started creating content for the nutrition store.
That's cool.
And I was working as an employee as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I was working long hours there. Like I was working
busting your ass
10 to 10, 6 days out of the week. So yeah, it was tough. That's kind of where it started, and then it came to a point where like, okay, I was like, I'm not really happy here. I'm not growing. The town, it's kind of like a town where like you don't go and open your own business. You don't go and it's like you follow the 9 to 5, which there's nothing wrong to that, right? No. But that was just not my thing. Like that's not what I love. I wanted something more for myself. I wanted to create something for myself. Yeah. And yeah, I think during COVID, 2.5 years ago, that's when I was like, you know what, it's time to do something else and move. I don't think I can grow here anymore, so I think it's time to move. And seeing the Afalna was gonna open up and stuff like that, so I made the move, and that's when I transitioned to like go full time. Yeah.
So you haven't been in Houston for forever. When did you move to Houston?
2.5 years ago. Almost 3 years. Yeah, it was during COVID. So, yeah, okay. Just quit my job. I had some money saved, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get an apartment over there. We had no friends, no business, no nothing. I was like, I'm just gonna pursue this full time, see where it goes.
Dude, that's crazy.
I was like, if nothing happens, by the time I run out of money, like I worked at McDonald's, I worked at Walmart before. I worked all these jobs. I was like, I'm not afraid to just go get another job like that, just to keep me on my feet and then do that on the side. But thankfully, we just hustle at the beginning for like 6 months, and that opened a lot of doors. We're doing a lot of things for free, and
that's fucking cool, dude.
Thankfully, I never had to get another job. I just went full time.
Yeah. No, that's super cool, and that takes a lot to be able to step away and walk away from what your your comfortability is, and is your family where you were from before?
No, they live in Mexico.
Okay, so you've been by yourself for a while, kind of on your own, doing your thing. Yeah, but even then, like, to leave where you're situated and where you've been for a minute to like take a step and jump out, especially in a place where you don't know anybody and have no connections, like that's a really scary thing to do. Like I can personally talk about like moving from California, my family is over there. So like that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Just like leaving kind of everything behind and be like, I'm going to go see if I can make this work. Like I don't know if it will, but we're going to figure it out. And I think that's really important for people to understand is like, again, like we talked about, you can leave and do whatever you want to do. If you want to fucking say see you later, like I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to start a different or start a new and, just really figure out what my life is supposed to be. Like those younger years are to do like 20 to 30. Like you should be doing that. Yeah. You should be experimenting. You should be trying different things, meeting people, just, and if it doesn't work out, fuck it. Like, I don't know why people are so scared to fail at stuff. Like that's one thing I've tried to train myself a lot is like, don't be scared of failing. Like, you're gonna fail and fall on your face. You're gonna eat shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you learn, you build character, and you move on to the next thing, or you continue to build it. And thankfully, it's been like a good move so far. I've met a lot of cool people. Meeting you is really awesome. We got that chance to connect a couple months ago, so I'm glad we're finally like linking up and hanging out. But no, that's awesome, man. I think the your story is really cool and really inspiring to like a lot of creatives. If you had to give advice to someone that is wanting to get into the photo or video and kind of cautious about it or not really sure, like do you have any advice for those people?
Go all in. If you have a passion for it, I feel like just do as much as you can with what you have. I feel like we get caught up like comparing ourselves with everyone else and like this person is in chapter 20 and you're chapter 1. Like, just focus on yourself. And then if photos and videos is something that you really want to do, like content creating, just focus on it and just give it your all, Don't leave anything like behind.
No, 100%.
You never know where it's going to take you.
100%. And a lot of it comes down to who you know and just meeting people, right? Like building connections and just genuinely trying to do as much as you can to bring value to other people. I think people kind of have it like reversed. They're always thinking about what I can get from this. How can I get more? What can I, kind of finesse? But like going into a new space, like you have to build relationships, work for free, like do all that stuff in the beginning, especially when you're just starting out. That stuff is so important, and building those relationships will long-term kind of, tie into something, ideally. And if it doesn't, you move on and you go to the next one or go a different direction. But that's, man.
That's something I want to add on. Like, don't be afraid to do things for free.
Yeah.
I don't hate seeing like the messages when people like post of like, hey, at this time, I cannot do it because it's unpaid work. Yeah. I feel like you can have like a positive mentality about it. I was like, because when I started, I was doing a lot of things for free, and that made a lot of connections. Even till now, even if I have a full schedule and some opportunity comes in, like, hey, can you do this for free? Yeah. It's might as well just do it. I mean, it's free content. It's free experience for yourself. You never know what connections you're gonna create from there. Exactly. Maybe that free thing that you did that one time is gonna become into like a client. So. Just be open to do free things because, like you said, it opens opportunities and it gives you experiences. So. Yeah,
100%. And I think it's hard because there's a fine line of getting walked over and like doing things for free. Like in the beginning, it's such an important aspect of everything that you're going to do because one, if you don't have a portfolio, you're going to need to build one, right? You're going to need to go out, shoot different things, learn how to make content first. Once you get to a point where you're like, hey, I can create pretty damn good content. Like I can look at these other people. I can make something similar or something that stands out, something that people like. that's a good indication that like, hey, okay, start, you know, charging, bumping up your rates, like that sort of thing. But, you know, never, like, don't be afraid of still working for free, because that's so important. Like, no matter how far along you go, no matter how much, you know, I think it just depends on like what your schedule is and what your availability is. But, you know, again, if you think that relationship is going to be worth it, like, don't be afraid. Like, I still do shit for free too, just going out and, you know, helping people out and that sort of thing. But, you know, just pick and choose your battles is like the biggest thing. No, man, that's super awesome. And you just opened up like a brand new studio, which is insane. You know, that's something that is a goal for a lot of content creators and a lot of people. And now you have a safe, comfortable space to be able to come and like create content. What was this like the idea to like actually come into making it? Like, what was that whole process like?
Yeah, so the idea came in January.
Okay. That's fast, dude.
Yeah, so I do want to say that a lot of things that I created and like the move has been with the help of my wife. So she's part of this as well.
Shout out to wifey.
To wifey, yeah. So she's a photographer. So
nice.
If you ever need a good photographer,
that's
awesome. Hit her up. But yeah, so we came with an idea of like we wanted to create something else where it didn't need our time to be there, just because we got so busy creating content on the side, and then we're like, we do want provide something else other than just our skills. I was like, we want somewhere people can go and be creative and make their own content, and as well, it doesn't need our time to be there, so we can, you know, accelerate everything that we're trying to do. So that came to an idea, and yeah, I mean, I think 2 to 3 months it was just kind of looking for spaces. Some, you know, fell through. Some of them didn't work out. So we finally found the one, and we've been building it for like 2 months now.
Nice,
and
dude.
We finally opened a few days ago. So it's been exciting. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Congrats, man. It looks amazing. It's super cool. Did you deal with any like struggles, like anything that was really challenging trying to build this out?
I think just kind of like finding like the pieces. It's still in the works, but, you know, trying to not spend too much money, just because, you know, paying rent here too, it's expensive.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Paying for our own rent as well. So it's like double rent now. So I think that has been the biggest issue, just trying to find everything at a good price. Yeah.
Does any part of you want to build a team and have like editors under you, or are you kind of like good, you feel like you have a good rhythm now, you're kind of doing like your content? What's kind of like the next step of what you want to do?
That's been an idea of create like a bigger marketing agency and obviously expand the business. But right now it's just me and my wife doing everything, and all the relationships that we have are like pretty close relationships. Clients have become like best friends.
That's cool.
So we work pretty close to those people. So I think maybe in the future we'll be, you know, if we want to expand more of the business and create the agency, probably hire then, you know, other people to help us out. But everything that we have now it's just been me and my wife. And then the studio, probably that's the place where we'll hire somebody to come here, be full time in the future. So that's in the works. But for now, it's just be me and my wife here all the time.
Nice, dude. You guys are grinding. Like, I see all the stuff on your plate and all the stuff that you're doing. You're working for a lot of clients, a lot of brands. So to take on something like this is big, and I like commend you for it, because that's super sick, man. That's awesome. Like I mentioned, you work with Jazzy Fit. How did that relationship kind of develop? Because that's really cool, and that's a really good relationship to have with somebody that's really big in the fitness space. So how did that kind of come about? Yeah,
so I met this person. I met one of her friends. I don't know, maybe 7 years ago when I was doing my YouTube fitness.
Oh, okay.
He had a YouTube channel as well, and then we kind of connected, and then we kind of just stayed with that friendship.
That's
and then
dope.
They were friends, and when I moved here, I was like, hey, I would love to do a fitness video for you if you're down, you know? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And we went to Alpha Elite. Nice. And when I got there, he's like, hey, my friends are gonna be in the video. I didn't know that, you know? And one of the friends were, his name was Oscar, and then Chris, Jazzy's husband.
Yeah.
And yeah, I created the video for them, and then they loved it. And then Oscar hired me for a video, and then I went to Alpha Elite again. And Chris and his name is Sebastian. Sebastian was there too. And then I was like, okay, I'll do the video for y'all three again. And then 2 weeks later, I guess because Jassy saw the videos that I made, I guess she liked them. And she's like, hey, I need help with my YouTube. Can you help me out?
That's
and
sick.
When I saw the DM, I was like, you know, hell yeah. Like that's crazy just because, you know, I've been watching them for a long time when I was like, you know, doing my own thing. Yeah. So it was crazy to see that. And then dude. We started working together and we just built a great relationship.
Yeah, man. And again, like going back to what we talked about before, it's just relationships, right? Like knowing someone, and that's so important if you want to do this stuff. And I think that's one of the biggest things because Houston is becoming more of a content-based place, right? Like people are moving here. Myself moved here. Like there's so many content creators now, so I almost feel overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm a decent content creator, so I can only imagine someone that's just like getting into the game. Yeah. So I think if there's anything that you can do to kind of differentiate yourself is, one, always work on your craft, right? Like always, you know, be doing more, learning more, try to, you know, progress in what you're doing. And the second thing is just really developing strong relationships with people, because you never know where that's going to end up tying to, and who knows who, and who's going to get you a client, who's going to get you business. So like, you know, for every single client, just go above and beyond, try to give as much value as you can, right? Like every single shoot that I do, like if I do a video shoot, I'm throwing in photos, or like I'll throw an extra video, like, you know what I mean? Just like really try to go above and beyond for that. And that's going to make people, you know, really appreciate what you do and you as an individual. And so that would be like the biggest advice from me if you're going to be a creative. I don't know if you have anything to add onto that for people that, again, like are starting out or are kind of worried about like moving out here to do content.
Yeah, I mean, connections, I think, is like the biggest thing too. The connections, and then just working for free. I think it's like it goes a long way. Yeah.
That's cool. I have a question about, so you started working with Anabar, which is crazy. How many Anabars do you eat a day?
At the beginning, it was pretty bad. It was probably like 2 per day.
That's not that bad, bro. I'd be obese.
Yes, I mean, there was sometimes like, you know, you'll have a few more, but yeah, right now probably maybe 1 every few days, you know?
Yeah, dude, I would have been, like, I eat those things religiously now. Like, those are honestly my favorite protein bars. I'm like HEB every couple of days. Those ones are legendary bars. Yeah, the little toaster ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are
Yeah, it's hard not to eat them. They're always at home, but if I ever need a quick snack or something, like, I know ours.
It's harder now because, like, the macros are getting cut and the calories are getting cut. So I'm like, it's funny because I'm trying to go in there and calculate out how many calories and fats and proteins that I can have and still fit my Anabar in at the end of the day. So that's just like one of those things. But that's cool. How'd you build that relationship? Was the same thing, kind of like connection, or did you know them before?
Yeah. So around the time I was going to Athlete, I was joining around the same time that Rem was going. Okay. So I didn't know who Rem was, actually. One of his cooking videos popped into my YouTube. Nice. And I watched it, and I was like, I'm going to make this recipe. And I was like, oh, that's the guy that goes to Athlete. So I was like, and then I saw he was in a podcast with, I think, Sush. And he kind of told his story. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's very inspiring where he came from and where he's now. So that inspired me to go talk to him and be like, hey, I'm a content creator. I saw your podcast. I was like, if you ever need help with anything, I would love to help you for free.
That's cool.
And he's like, yeah, man. He told me about Anavar and stuff, but really nothing happened then. And then, you know, Harry? Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was in contact with Rem.
That man fucking introduces everybody.
He's
crazy.
Shout out to Harry because he is everywhere.
That man's the plug. Every time that everybody's like, you know, Harry introduced like did this. I'm like, damn, that man. Yeah. Shoot.
So I guess he was already in contact with Rem. Yeah. And he was like, hey, I have this protein bar that we can shoot. I was like, okay. And we shot it, and they loved the video. And then after that, we kind of just started creating content for free for a whole month. And then they were like, hey, I think we really would love to bring you guys as a full-time. And we had a meeting, and it just went from there.
That's cool, man. Yeah. That's super awesome. What do you enjoy more? Do you think you enjoy the product photography, or do you enjoy like the YouTube lifestyle stuff?
I kind of like both. Yeah. It's like, it's different.
It's a fun change.
It's a fun change, yeah, because sometimes you'll be shooting too much in the gym. You're like, okay, I want to shoot something else. And then, so I think it requires different skills. So I think both are I don't know what I would choose. I think both are like good.
Yeah. No, it's a good change of pace. I think that's one of the cooler things that we get to do is that we're always changing and doing something different. And with me as like the personality that I have, I get very bored very easily with stuff. Like that's why I can't work a 9 to 5 because I can't do the same thing every day. It drives me fucking crazy. So like being able to go and do different shoots, meet different people, do a product video or a product photo, like, and kind of, you know, switch to the lifestyle stuff. I think that's why I enjoy it so much. And then also like being in front of the camera, because that's something I really enjoy too. And that's kind of something like that I really want to take, and I want to do the athlete stuff still in front of camera. So that's like the side project, kind of like end goal of all this stuff hopefully can combine and kind of coming together in one. But no, man, that's super awesome that you're kind of diversifying and just doing a lot of different stuff. Tell me what it was like for you, like growing up. Like how was your like upbringing? How was your family? Like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm a youngest from one older sister.
Okay.
Shout out to my sister. I think till I was 11, I lived in Mexico.
Okay.
I was born in the U.S., but I lived in Mexico first. School was never my forte.
Yeah, mine either.
I didn't really like school, and then I used to see my sister always like getting good grades and stuff like that.
That's the worst.
But I think with my parents have always been very supportive. They always let me do whatever makes me happy.
That's cool.
They never were like the strict parents, like, hey, you can't do this. Like, hey, you have to go to school. I think they wanted me to go to school just to have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
But they were never like, hey, you have to get good grades. Like, you don't have to go to school if you want to go to school. You know, I kind of just did it for them because I knew it will make them proud.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did. I mean, I did a lot of connections through there as well. And then after I was 11, I moved to the U.S. around 4th grade. And I kind of just live with different people, cousins, uncles, friends. Yeah. And then live on myself during college.
Dang.
And seeing my parents maybe like once every few months. Seeing my sister once a year because she lives in Cancun.
Okay,
so it was harder to see her.
That's a nice little vacation.
Yeah.
You're going to Cancun, hang out with your sister.
I get to travel to go see her.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very supportive parents, I would say. I think that's what helped me a lot at the beginning because they always had my back in everything that I did.
That's awesome.
They never told me, hey, don't do that. You know, so I think that helped me a lot with who I am now. Yeah,
100%. Was that hard leaving your family when you were younger? Where you were kind of excited to like go?
I think as a kid I was excited. As I got older, I saw how it affected me and my parents not being close to them.
Yeah, 100%.
Now I'm trying to make that time, see him more often, get a better connection. Just because, as a child, and not having your parents all the time, I wasn't able to build a better connection with my dad. Yeah. Or I have a better connection with my mom just because I talk to her on the phone more. She's more on the phone than my dad. So now when I see my dad, I try to like ask him, what do you like? What makes you happy? Those kind of things. Get him to know because there was a big gap where I missed it. So I think now getting those years back from them that I didn't have. Yeah. And hopefully make them proud.
Yeah, no, that's cool, dude. Yeah. I'm sure you have, and I'm sure they're cool. Like, it's awesome watching everything that you're doing and you're just progressing, constantly in different areas of your life. And it's super inspiring, again, to not only content creators that are out here trying to make it, but your family and all that stuff, man. I think the last thing that we'll kind of wrap up on is just, being okay getting uncomfortable, being comfortable getting uncomfortable. Again, we kind of touched on this briefly, but like, it's so important to get out of where you're comfortable and what you're doing and just push yourself and elevate into, the unknown. I think it's really scary. You moving, somewhere that you're not familiar with, not knowing people, or moving away from your family. Like, you've constantly put yourself in uncomfortable situations, which have pushed you to do, what you are, to be where you're at right now, and to push you to do things that you haven't done before. And same with me, moving away from my family, moving to Houston, like doing all these different things, but just one, I think never being afraid of getting out of your comfort zone and just not being scared to throw yourself into the fire a little bit, because sometimes that's the push that you need to kind of do something different. Just really challenging yourself. I don't know if you have, anything you want to add to that, or kind of, just to try to help creatives, get out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, I guess, saying more what you said, just don't be afraid to fail. Failing is okay. Don't compare yourself to others. It's okay to have inspiration from others, but don't compare yourself from your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. We're all here trying to make it. Even if you're looking at somebody and they seem like they have it all together, they probably don't.
Yep.
I opened this new studio and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going and learning as I go, and that's something I feel like everyone needs to know. Like, just do it and learn as you go. And whenever you're failing, that's whenever the magic happens, because it builds character and it teaches you. Whenever you win, like, enjoy those wins.
Yeah, everybody's just trying to figure it out, right? Social media is just this highlight reel, and it's funny because I preach this, but I fall into it too. Like, I am still watching other people on social. I'm still like, man, they're doing this, they're meeting with this person, they're shooting this. Like, what the fuck? Why aren't things working out? But again, like, you see surface level of what's going on. You really don't understand. Like, even though I look busy as shit, there's a lot of times where I'm just like chilling, or whatever it is. So you never understand, what someone else's story is or what someone else is going through. They could be going through a super rough time, but you see all the highlight reels on Instagram. So that's something to just, really keep in mind moving forward. But again, just keep pushing yourself, keep pushing your boundaries, keep elevating in everything that you do. Art, I'm excited to see you kill it with the studio, man.
Appreciate
and with everything that you're doing, it's fucking awesome. Jared, can you hand me the bag that we brought? Yeah, this is for you, my boy. We got you a little. We got you a little tee from TBS.
That's badass.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate it.
It's actually the one that says anti-working for free, which contradicts a little bit what we talked about. But the idea behind the tee of not working for free is knowing your value, right? Like, at a certain point, make sure people understand your value and make sure people understand that the work we do is fucking hard. And there's a lot that goes into it.
Don't get stepped on. Work for free. It's okay, but don't get stepped on either.
Hell yeah. I got you an XL. I don't know if that's your size or if that's going to fit you. I know you like the oversized look,
that will work,
we'll rock with that. Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you so much for letting us take time out of your day and out of everything you got going on. Make sure you guys follow Be Creative HTX. Is it? Okay, cool. Be Creative. I'll tag all of his stuff down in the description box. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Art. I appreciate you, man. And let's get it.